Welcome to my ArundelBiz podcast, powered by Anne Arundel Economic Development Corporation.
A podcast that celebrates the businesses and business owners throughout Anne Arundel County.
Hello and welcome to another episode of my ArundelBiz podcast. As you all have known, for the past couple episodes, we've been celebrating not only our 30-year anniversary, but our 10-year anniversary of managing and supporting the Vote loan.
Yep, that's right. And obviously, those are some big specific things in 2023, but we've also got always some national days, national months, and one of them that's very important to us is Hispanic Heritage Month, which is actually, it starts September 15th, so it goes to October 15th, so it covers half of both those months. And with that in mind, I'm very pleased to introduce today's guest, Walter Vasquez. Among many businesses that Walter owns, he's the proud owner of Sin Fronteras Restaurant, one of the best Mexican restaurants in the county. He's the owner of Annapolis Latino Market, one of the newest Hispanic grocery markets or international markets in the county, and then also a bunch of barbershops. So lots of businesses that Walter owns, so we're very happy to have him here. Walter, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you very much for having me. It's a pleasure having you. Today I got to say that it was a beautiful surprise to meet Marcus.
Yep.
Yeah.
Probably wasn't in the agenda, but it was beautiful. I am very thrilled. I'm excited to see a young man with autism and making it that big.
Yep,
I mean,
definitely.
It makes me...
And for those who don't know, we're talking about Marcus from More Crunch,
Yep.
The owner from More Crunch.
So please support
Marcus and his mom.
Yep, shout out to Marcus from More Crunch.
Very, very beautiful, touching. His story that he has, beautiful, beautiful. And I think we should support him.
Yep.
Absolutely, absolutely. And matter of fact, I want to find another reason to get them back on because Marcus, we still gotta have that wrestling conversation. So
Right.
we'll talk about that later.
Anyways.
So Walter, can you give us a little bit of a history of your background and how it is you got started in your conglomerate of business
Business empire.
We work a lot. Anyways, I was born and raised in El Salvador, a third world country, during a civil war. Mm-hmm. Believe it or not, we had a civil war between 1981 to 1992. Mm-hmm. I left El Salvador in 1990, so I was born and raised right between El Salvador, Honduras, and Guatemala. Gotcha. So, which is a lot of businesses, people there, mm-hmm. because of this change, not only with the currency, but also products. Some products are more expensive on the other side, cheaper on the other side. So we learned those type of skills to buy and sell. Right. So I have family in Miami Beach, and since the war was getting really out of proportion, so I left El Salvador, and I was only about 21 years old, almost 22 years old. I was going to college. I stopped and I moved to Miami, which was a new world for me. So the language, culture, politically, culturally, every single possible way. Mm-hmm. But I was thrilled to discover a new world. Yep. Which at the end, now I notice Miami is not the United States of America. Actually, it's more Latino than anywhere else.
Right.
But back then, for me, it was a big change for a 21-year-old. Pretty much just having two aunts, and pretty much I was standing on my own. Right. But I noticed that I would say this. I don't care what they say with the issues that we have in our country, but this is the most beautiful country to live. Yeah. Still. Can we do better? Sure, we can. Sure. But as it is right now, I think there is no country better to live like this one.
That's great to hear. And so what brought you to Anne Arundel County?
Well, in 2001, as you know, September 11 took place. I was managing restaurants in Miami Beach. So South Beach was pretty much one of the best moments because Miami Beach was a little bit asleep till 1990. And then Versace and Mr. Kramer from Germany moved in. They injected so much money, and they changed the whole thing forever. Mm. So I had the privilege to work in some of the best restaurants down there and the service industry. And then 2001 came across. Mm-hmm. And things didn't get well. So, from working full-time and having a beautiful life, sure. All of a sudden everything dropped because nobody was traveling. Miami is a
tourism big
destination.
Yeah.
That's right. So I have a friend of mine here in Annapolis. I came to visit. Meanwhile, I had applied for jobs everywhere. So Merrill Lynch, at the time, they called me from New York because they needed somebody who spoke 3 languages, like I do. I speak Portuguese, Spanish, and English, of course. And they wanted somebody to do all the negotiations, the mediations in Spanish between the unions and the management.
Oh, wow.
What I did, it was technically try to mediate before going to court. Try to minimize those chances.
Right.
And I was dealing with all the grievances, which is normally some friction between the management and the workers, the union workers. So I was just for 3 years, pretty much a very, very good job. I was happy what I did. All of a sudden, 2007, housing fiasco came across.
Yep.
So all of a sudden, they said, Walter, by the way, here's your check. Have a nice day. That was it. So we had seen this here, this area. My wife loved it. My kids, they were a little bit small. They loved it as well. So I had, prior to that, bought a house here.
Okay.
So then we moved here, and I said, well, this is a beautiful land. We love it. The ocean is right here. We had the bay here. It's a lot of history. Baltimore is here. Washington is around the corner. So I said, this is going to be our home for now. And that was 2007.
Okay.
Wow.
So what is that today? 16? Yeah, 16 years.
Yeah.
That was-
Was Sin Fronteras the first?
No, the first
business,
one was
or-
my wife used to teach cosmetology in Miami, so we saw this area very heavy populated by Latinos, and I saw this barbershop that was kind of not doing well, abandoned. I said, by the way, you know what? Let's buy this one. Let's start serving our people. And in about 6 months, we saw the change. Then we saw across the street that was a restaurant that was not doing well. I said, well, you know what? We have to bring the Miami Latino Mexican style. And so Sin Fronteras means no borders. We do it food-wise and human being-wise. I want people to understand that there are no borders.
Yeah.
And so as you've been to Sin Fronteras, there's one of those very unique places that you can find everything.
Right.
Like we have dishes from Peru, Cuba, Puerto Rico, Central America, Mexico, Brazilian, cocktails from everywhere. So it was completely a hit once we started. But today is one of the most recognized Latino places in the Anne Arundel, I would say.
Definitely.
Not because it's beautiful, it's just the fact it has something with the food and the music and the way we treat people.
Right.
Yeah.
So that I don't like formalities. I don't like hi, sir. No, I like hi, how are you? To make you feel at home.
Right.
Yeah.
To get to know you, get to know who you are, what you like, and to be like a part of that family. For me, it's more important than having people that come once in a while, we don't know who they are. To me, more important is to get to know, to people become part of that. So, and then we started growing from there.
Right.
And then we opened the first barbershop. Then we got the second one here in Glen Burnie, which we employed about 12 people.
Wow.
We had one in Edgewater. I had a great barber, so I sold it to him. So he's doing well there. Also, then we noticed that we needed a market. We opened a market, as you know.
Yep.
And now 1927 West Street got hit by Ida.
Right.
That was September 1st, 2021.
21. Yep.
It's going to be 2 years.
Yep.
And then also we also have with my son-in-law, we also do construction.
Wow.
We have a company, we do patios, we do renovations. Okay. So at the end, and we also have multiple alliances with people when it comes down to businesses. Nice, it's beautiful, it's a lot of work, but what I like the most is that we had the opportunity to get to know people, to have employees that started working with us. Now they're independent, they opened their own barbershop. A friend of mine just opened his own restaurant, used to work for me. Wow. So we noticed that one way or the other, we're impacting people to do their own thing, which is, I think, is great in business.
So it's almost like, with your business, you're not only having those workers invest into the business, but you're investing into your workers as well. Mm-hmm. Because and just hearing you talk, the thing that I'm hearing is that a lot of the businesses that you've started, you actually are turning over to people who are working with you.
Yes.
And a lot of people, they don't feel that way. Like they're kind of like, I don't want to lose, so-and-so as an employee. I don't want to give them the business. But you really are. And I think that's amazing.
Yes.
be honest.
Also, we had a business here. We had a Sin Fronteras here in Glen Burnie.
Oh, okay.
So we sold it to one of our employees. He sold it during the pandemic. He couldn't keep it.
Right.
Sure.
But he was one of the best employees we ever had in the kitchen. So he wanted to start that. And I had the restaurant doing well. But he approached me. I said, I want to be part of this. He said, like, you wanted to take it, you can take it over. He took it over.
Wow.
Unfortunately, during the pandemic, like anybody else got hit, he sold it. But at the end, he told me, it's not that easy. And I told him, businesses they're very exciting.
Mm-hmm.
They are. But also it comes with a lot of work.
Right.
A lot of commitment, sacrifice. Like sometimes I work Sundays the whole day.
Right.
Normally people don't want to do it. Sometimes holidays. Sometimes rise 3 o'clock, an alarm went off. Got to get up, fix it. Yeah. There are many things that come to business. But at the end of the day, you see it's a beautiful journey. Because you learn, you grow, you see people growing. Community, they see you growing as well. And you become part of that community.
Right.
Like Sin Fronteras is well known everywhere. My barbershop, the same thing now, the market.
Right.
With the tortillas, which is the only, I think we had the first
Yeah,
tortilla.
so we'll flash up again for listeners. They'll miss out on this, but I enjoyed stopping by Annapolis Latino Market. I think like the day that it opened after that tornado, and caught a really cool video of a pretty jaw-dropping tortilla maker. It's making fresh-pressed tortilla. I think, and they gave me the numbers on it. I think it's like 60 a minute, or maybe even more than that.
Yeah, about 3,500 per hour.
Jeez, crazy. It just spits
Yeah.
them out. But speaking of the market, it's very beautiful. And as you were saying, just like with your restaurant, you've got tons of different stuff there. Basically, whatever probably international, food item you're looking for, produce, frozen stuff. How did you kind of know the demand was there for it? Because a grocery store is a big thing to invest in, obviously.
Right, it is. It's a lot of time consuming, a lot of little factors that go through it. And all my business, believe it or not, the clients, the guests, the people who support our business, they are the ones who tell me what to do.
Right.
Because I go along with that. They can come in, you can come into the restaurant and say, by the way, you know what, I seen this somewhere. I go ahead and get it. You know what, it's too cold in here, so let's see how we fix it.
Yeah.
You know what, your staff, which never happened, but they said that your staff is not smiling. Let's get it fixed. So technically, I believe my clients, my customers, they are the ones who really tell me what to do.
Right, right.
They are the ones who give you the guide that you need. Where, because it depends, like the tortilla is being the biggest hit because it was needed.
Right.
But now they want the smallest one for tacos. We're making them now for them.
Sure.
So I think in life in general, in politics, I would say the same thing. And anything you do, the customers, the people that know you, they really want to support you, they want to see you grow, they will be honest with you, and you have to give them the answer they want.
Right, right.
And that's, I think, is part of the success of our companies are based on that. I mean, you can come to Sin Fronteras. I remember a lady told me, look, Walter, I don't like this dressing, so I had to make a special dressing for her because she wanted this way. And that we have it there. When she comes, she can have it.
Man, wow, man.
So, and those little things in businesses, because, business and demand competition.
Right.
Because you have competition everywhere.
Yes.
So in order for you to outbid when you're a small guy, with the small company.
Right.
So the little companies, in order to compete, you got to give that little different.
Right.
That little extra work, go to the little step that you need to do. And that's what we do. I try to make it all the time, yeah.
Right. That's awesome. Well, and I guess you referred to it before. COVID obviously impacted all businesses, but I think barbershops, restaurants, and,
high contact.
Any of those places were very affected. So that was obviously a very unexpected, huge challenge. If you could share a little bit about, and then also double whammy, I guess, at least for Annapolis Latino Market, you had a huge tornado come out of nowhere and basically directly hit your business. So how did you deal with those challenges?
Well, the pandemic actually was very difficult for everybody. But when you have a small business, and always we plan well, and I can tell you from the bottom of my heart, we pay our rent in the same time, timely, perfectly.
Wow.
We never got behind. You can ask my landlords. We did that because I knew it's not going to take too long. I said, like, we got to survive this. And also my employees, nobody lost their jobs.
Oh,
So
Wow.
wonderful.
when I opened the market, that was the reason why we put some people that were working in the restaurant and barbershop. They needed some hours. We put them to work there so they
Oh,
could earn
wow.
some money. So technically, now it's paying back
Right.
because all my employees are still there. A lot of people
Yeah.
right now are really hurting that can get any help.
Right.
And I still have the same faces. For years and years, I had the same barbers. Of course, some new ones come because, you know, we're growing. But the guys that started with us, they're still there, and the restaurant, the same thing.
Yeah.
We had the chef is the same. The store, the 5 girls, they started with us when
Yeah.
the tornado happened. They're still there. So was it hard? Yes, it was. Very difficult. But, you know, some people had it worse than us.
Right.
Some people were very, very, not only financially, but they were buried their lives. Some people, you know, unfortunately, they lost some
Right.
loved ones. Some people lost everything they had. Some people, it was very difficult. We dealt with this differently. I'm a very firm believer in God. I believe that it was going to, one way or the other, we'll make it through it. And also we believe that, and this is my philosophy today, is I know this pandemic brought a lot of bad things to us, but also made us be better people.
Yes.
For those, made us be more united,
Yes.
made us be more helpful,
Yeah.
let us be more compassionate with the rest of us. Because in a heartbeat, we know this whole thing can go down, and
Right.
it's beautiful. And,
Right.
and that is the good thing that we learned. Through the time, it was very difficult because, people were afraid, and I understood that, but we need to survive.
Right.
And at the end, we look back today, and I said, well, you know what? We coped with that very well.
Yeah. And now with all those events behind us, what in business, how do you feel like you're going to grow? Like, what do you hope to grow moving forward?
Well, the idea is the same thing, is always believe that there are many, today a day with technology, which is great. Today a day with all, all the social media. But, I notice in businesses, it's a right opportunity now to bring people back because now we're more lonely than before.
Yeah.
A lot of
Yeah.
people spend hours just looking at the screen.
Yes.
Right.
Doing
Right.
nothing.
And if it's
Yes.
all they've been doing for almost 3 years of COVID, it's kind of like normal
Time
life
to go
now.
about life.
Yeah.
That's what we want, and that's what we take advantage of that. So now we invite our restaurant. Now we have different cocktails. Now the music is louder. Now we make you feel better. Now we treat you like always been, but now we try to see that there is more behind, and nothing against the social media, but there is more than that. Because now today, I grew up in a third world country where everything was face to face.
Yes.
Playing.
Yep.
Sports, music, relationships. People sitting at the table eating dinner. Now today, it's different. So now I believe slowly it's going back to normal life.
Yeah.
Now people are more confident to go to places, go to shopping centers, now to exercise.
Right.
So restaurants, because during the pandemic, we expected we never did it again. And now that we took that in our advantage. Now we make sure that people feel more at home than they did before.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah. Now, because we know you're a very ambitious guy, what businesses do you hope to open in the future?
We are working very closely with the county, which you probably heard. We want to do collectively. I wanted the county to keep most of the biddings and the buying that they do locally. I would like to see that's very healthy for an economy.
Right.
If you have the money, for example, let's say all the buying they do, or all the services they require, if they hire local companies.
Right, for
minorities.
procurement and whatnot. And
what it does is that money doesn't go to, for example, Ohio, where the main company is.
Yep.
So it stays here. That means the owner of the company will have a better life, can buy a better house, will pay more taxes,
Yep.
will go to better restaurants.
And the money circulates
circulates, what I
here.
call recycling the money. And I think that's what we're trying to present to the county and the city. How can we have all these companies, small businesses, because I believe in small businesses, probably because we have our small businesses.
Yeah.
But I believe those are more, they have more attention. They pay more attention to the small details. We are more accountable because you see face-to-face who is dealing with versus having a multinational company probably is based in Canada. We never see it.
Right.
And if something goes wrong, nobody really takes responsibility for it.
Right.
Exactly.
Right.
So that's the idea to see how, because I think the healthy thing can happen to this county, or probably to all these counties in the state of Maryland, is try to believe in what we have locally. And of course, it's a challenge because probably it's never done. Maybe it's easy to get the whole package to a big company.
Right.
But how can we break it down to small pieces so everybody take that piece?
Right.
And you know, and that's the idea. So we working on that with different groups.
Yeah.
Probably in about a year we might sit down again and I'll let you know how. But I believe strongly it will be the new thing in this area.
Yeah, well, and that's great to hear. And just a little shout out for yet another of our programs that we've been promoting this year is the Rundle Community Reinvestment Fund. Yes. And that's exactly why it exists. It's for revitalization in some older commercial districts in the county, and it's trying to incentivize pretty darn attractively, at least from our perspective, local business owners buying and then improving, or if they already own them, still improving those properties and, you know, basically increasing the economic activity at those areas and, as you said, keeping the dollars in the local economy. So
yeah, I believe, I mean, because I travel, in the state of Maryland, we are blessed. It's a very stable economy. I mean, it has it all. It has all the four seasons that we want to see.
Yep.
It's right in the middle of the beautiful geographical position.
Yep.
All we need is to work on the small details.
Right.
Like keeping everything here, and it's nothing against anything out of here.
Right.
Out of this. But
Sure.
we got to take our own people first. Make that possible. Business-wise, I think we have a lot of potential here. Because a lot of companies, a lot of construction taking place because of the economy. I mean, Maryland is probably one of the richest states in the country per capita.
Right.
If
Right.
it's not the number one.
Right.
So how can we keep that? And that's the challenge. I think the government should look into that as a very, very positive option. Keep everything, have the jobs, try to give it to the people who live here from any perspective, from
Right.
businesses, buying services, employing local people.
Yeah.
I believe that, try to buy local products. In the case of Marcus,
Right.
support
Right.
him, and
Yeah.
we have 100 Marcus.
Yep.
Probably will be better.
Yes.
Now we have our own economy doing better.
Yep. What are a few of your top tips for other, whether they're early stage business owners or hopeful to soon become business owners? Not only just anyone, but also, you know, from your perspective, any specific advice for Hispanic business folks out there?
Businesses, like I said at the beginning, are very fascinated.
Yep.
They're fascinated by business, very, very exciting. You know, they have ups and downs. One day you feel like you got to walk out from the joint, and next morning you think it's great.
Yep.
I always, when I do some little speeches with kids in school, you know, one thing that you always talk about is just keep in mind the passion will take you anywhere.
Yes.
I don't care what you do. If you're a soccer player, if you are a singer, whatever you do in life and you take passion, that is what will take you wherever you want to go.
Yeah.
Business is the same way. I enjoy opening companies. I enjoy selling stuff. I enjoy seeing people to enjoy what I do.
Basically providing what people need, right?
Exactly.
It's
So
very
what I
simple, but-
suggest them to do is look for the government, because I think the government right now is more open. Now, one thing that I always say that the Anne Arundel has done really well now with minorities, that including people that we guided on. We had Sergio Polanco, for example. The guy is doing
Shout out to Sergio.
So he's doing very good with some meetings
Yep.
for some topics like how to open a new business,
Yep.
how to run your business, where to mingle with your colleagues.
Right.
Now it's going to be how one of the meetings that we're going to have, actually it's going to be at Sin Fronteras, is how can you do business with the county, the state, and federal.
Yep.
So the idea for them is try to get as much information about the business you want to get into. Remember that business are very difficult. They're like children, like kids. They're when they're small, you got to be patient. You know that you got to pretty much guide them around. But eventually, when they stand on their own, then you move on to the next kid.
Yep. Yep.
And that's how I look at it. So I would suggest is get close to see what product or what you want to do, sell or buy, or what you're reselling. And you got to get to know everything about the product or everything about the service that you're providing.
Right.
That's the number one, because if you're very good at what you do, like those pretzel that Marcos has, he can sell it anywhere he wants.
Right.
Because the product is fresh, it's unique, it's not too salty.
Yeah.
I have very good idea. It's not too big,
Yep.
so it's
Right.
not too filling.
Right.
But still, you want to have more.
Yeah.
Yes.
So you got to have the balance.
Yeah.
Same thing I would suggest anybody in business. That balance you got to have. You got to have a restaurant. You got to they have a very decent menu, but the food cannot be too expensive, not too low. You got to have the balance, and that only the experience doing it gives it to you.
Yeah.
So I would suggest anybody. Now, the government, I love the fact that Mr. Pittman, Gavin, and I hope Mr. Moore
Yep.
get involved with this.
Right.
And give the first priority to those people who live locally and see open the opportunities, which is a lot of opportunities here.
Right.
If we just open it and we guide people and we teach them and we provide with the right sources,
Right.
we fine. That's all we need.
Yeah.
But I think the state of Maryland is going the right way for me.
Yeah, I as our social media and news sharing guy behind the scenes, I know about a month ago, what Governor Moore announced the state procurement increasing 15%, and that being targeted at small and minority-owned businesses. So I think it's certainly on the agenda, which is great to know.
So for one of our last questions,
Yep.
I just wanted to know, with Anne Arundel County being your home, what made you want to start your business here? Like, what's your favorite thing about not only living but having business here?
And getting your wife on board, obviously, which was a big part of it.
You know what? I'm glad you asked that question. We've seen the growing of the Latino community. We've seen from pretty much nobody. I remember in 2000, when I first came here to visit some friends, the Anne Arundel had not even 2% of Latinos in the population.
Wow.
The Anne Arundel, 2 to 3%. Don't quote me that, but somewhere around there.
Wow.
Annapolis had 6%, 6 to 7.
Yep.
That's 2000, 23 years ago. Today, Annapolis has 21%, which is 1 out of 5 people is Latino.
Right.
And the Anne Arundel, 16%. Almost,
Jeez.
no, 15,
Yeah.
16%.
Yeah.
So we saw that. We saw it from that small group getting adjusted to the system, getting to work, getting to learn the language, to see the first generations of Latin Americans here. That now they're going to college. That now they own their little businesses. That now they have the opportunity to become doctors. So to me, opening and giving the opportunity to have the products back home, to give them the haircut that they want, for me, it's been exciting. It's a beautiful journey. My wife and I, we love it because we see it.
Yeah.
See, I was comparing this to Miami. Miami in the 60s, in the 70s, it was like a just, place to go to have a good time, retire people. During the summer, it was empty. During the winter, the snowbirds used to go down there. Today, it's a beautiful city. It's a completely, with a lot of different cultures, ethnic groups, religious groups, beautiful restaurants, hotels. You have it all. But it wasn't like that 40 years ago.
Right.
Today, and I would love to see us at the state of Maryland well diversified in any possible way, not only ethnically but politically, socially.
Yep.
economically, everything. And that's the idea. That's what is really good about business. You get to know everyone.
Right.
I mean, I've seen people in my restaurant with beautiful, a lot of businesses.
Yeah.
I've seen people starting the businesses, growing. I've seen people, they just got to the country. I have people that just live in the city. And that's what is very exciting about the businesses, that type of getting to know everyone in the community.
And on the topic of all those businesses, what are some of your favorite businesses to visit in Anne Arundel?
Yeah, some of yours.
I go everywhere. I try to support everywhere, but I do, and hopefully big companies don't take it personally. I do not support huge companies.
Yep.
I don't. To me, I don't say I don't. I prefer
Sure.
to support like Big 909.
Yeah.
I go to a friend of mine just opened Salvador Latino. I go to friends of mine that if they want to paint my house, I get a small local business to do painters.
Right.
Same thing when I do small constructions. But restaurants, I do, like I said, Big 909 for me is very
they're
good.
a great one.
You've been there?
Yeah.
I go to also places like Caliente, friend of mine. Those places that are small owned, that I get to know the owners, that we always, share stories and see what's going on.
Yep.
And those are the ones that I support.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's awesome. And I guess just finishing up, if you could tell everyone where to find, I guess, the websites and any social media for Sin Fronteras and Annapolis Latino Market, and then also if you can look up if you can find the barbershops online.
Yeah, you can find the barbershops are well known, but those are Isaula's Beauty Salon. We do have the Latino Market.
Yep.
It's called AnnapolisInternationalMarket.com. You can easily find it. And SinFronteras.com. You easily find it. Hopefully you come to see us to try something different.
Yeah, well, cheating with the last question then, if you could tell people that have never been to Sin Fronteras to try one thing, and if you could tell people that have never been to Annapolis Latino Market to buy one thing, what would
If
those
you go to
things
Sin
be?
Fronteras, there is a dish called chile en nogada. It's like a chile relleno, but it's this type of pepper that is, we put in the oven for about 30 seconds, then we peel it, we cut it open. We add this homemade Cuban-style ground beef with raisins. We stuff it with that, and we made this very unique sauce made of walnut, white chocolate, a little bit tequila reduction, pomegranate.
Wow.
It has vanilla.
Fancy.
And then we reduce it. Put it that sauce is made every day because it has a little bit dairy, so it has to be fresh.
Sure.
That would be the one that I would suggest you to have. You go to the market, you got to have the tortillas and the chicharron, the fried pork. It's made every 2 hours, and and that's it.
I don't think you were making that when I was last there, so that's
No, I just
okay.
started because
I'll have to
you
go
have
back.
to get the setup. You got to marinate. See, for me, business is consistency is the number one.
Yeah.
Service, price, consistency, cleanness. That's the first thing that I always recommend in any business that I do.
Yeah. Well, Grayson and I, since it's a little past lunchtime as
Pretty
we're
much.
recording this, we will be stopping at Annapolis Latino Market on the way back to the
Okay.
office.
Okay.
Trying some of those corn tortillas and chicharron. And we recommend that to everybody else out there, too, whenever you're watching this.
And I'm always around there, too.
Yeah, and keep your eye out for Walter all over the county during Hispanic Heritage Month and at all other times.
We're going to have the reopening. Reopening of the market should be on I think it's the 10th.
Of September?
Of September.
Oh, okay. Perfect.
So
Well, we
it's
will-
a Saturday. It's going
Okay.
to be there. It's going to be music. It's going to be food. It's going to be a food truck.
Awesome.
Everybody's invited. So we wanted to technically celebrate that opportunity that God gave us to reopen a place that it was very good at the beginning.
Right.
And now it's becoming better.
Awesome.
One small thing I want to say, I want to thank to you guys. Very nice.
Oh,
I also want to say the county has these people that are working hard. People like Sergio Polanco, Laura Gutierrez, Adriana Lee,
Yep.
people like you.
We got Luis Diaz,
Luis
Colorado
Diaz,
in our
I love
office,
him.
always.
Yeah, he's very.
Yep.
So those are the people that I want to thank him very much because they are the ones who really helping to this community to start going the right direction.
Yeah.
So hopefully we can have him there for years.
Yep,
to
I
guide us
appreciate
around.
that. And since we're giving shout outs, he's been with us. He works with Maryland SBDC, but is also a member of our team, Nestor Gavidia.
Gavidia, yes.
Because to your point, we now have 2 bilingual business counselors because, as you said, we know the need is there, and the Hispanic business community is growing and growing and growing. So we're all for it.
We help. We really, I mean, honestly, and my wife and I, we always talk that one thing about the state of Maryland and this county, they're embracing now people.
Right.
Yeah.
And believe me, for us, it was kind of hard for me when I left Miami to say I was going to have another home.
Yeah.
But this is our home now. And Miami just got to visit, but now this is our home. And now we're here to help as much as we can.
That's awesome to hear. Yeah. Well, we couldn't come up with a better closing than that. So just to remind everyone out there, you can watch this podcast and any of our past or future podcasts on Facebook and YouTube. And please follow us on all the social media channels, Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn, to stay up to date on business and economic development events and opportunities in Anne Arundel County and beyond. Thanks.
Thank you.